What's up, guys? Welcome to my office. Today's video is going to be something a little different. I want to explain, or I just want to mention how I got into this business that I am in. So I'm in the, let's call it the merchant cash advance industry. So what I do is I help small business owners throughout the country. And before I got into this business, I did a lot of thinking about what industry or what business I wanted to start. I can't work for a salary. I can if there is something with a very high markup and with a big margin, with a big spread, where the business owner or the salesperson can make a decent amount of money. So a lot of businesses that I looked into, and it wasn't that many, but quite a few businesses I looked into, they didn't have big enough spreads. I actually even called the office of Peter. I think his name was Peterschiff, if I'm not mistaken. He's a gold expert. He's a broker, and he's a big shot in the gold industry. And I called it. He has an office in Manhattan. He lives out of the country because he doesn't like the taxes or whatever here. So I believe he lives in. I'm not even sure where he lives, but he does have an office in Manhattan. And I called that office quite a few times looking to get hired or looking for an interview, and that didn't happen. And I remember I was pretty depressed at the time. I'm like, what am I going to do for a living? I couldn't go back to sell real estate after being sick because I couldn't walk well. And that business is a hard business as well. So I decided to give this business a shot. I went to my friend's office. He gave me a magazine. My friend Jason Reddish, shout out to Jay Red, I miss you, buddy. I'll give you a call soon. So I got a magazine, and I went through the magazine, and I just knew I didn't know for sure, but I was pretty sure he was doing well. And then another friend of mine, Danny, I knew he was doing well. So I said, let me try it. And I gave it a try. Before I even started it, I actually emailed someone in the industry, a writer, a guy that owns a publication strictly just for this industry. And it's really the only magazine that I knew of at the time. So I didn't know the guy's email. I actually tried his name and the company name. I spelled his name different ways, and one email got through to him, and he responded. And the reason why I did that, because I had the foresight to see that let's say if I do if I am successful down the road, maybe I'll reach out to him, and I got to get your name out there. So that's what I figured. So he responded, "Thank you, Anthony, for the nice email. I appreciate you reading my magazine, and good luck in the future." He said to me, "I hope you get well." And I told him I was thinking about getting in this business, so on and so forth. 2 years later, I did reach out to him, and he ended up doing like 3 stories on my company, and which brought me business. But that's a whole different scenario. What I would like to talk about now is a business owner that I end up buying $15,000 of his future sales for $10,000, and he should have paid me over the course of 80 business days. It came out to like roughly $187 a day. So the first day I funded him was December 12th, I think it was. He made payments on the 13th, December 13th, and December 14th. The following payment bounced. I called him up in a panic, basically, because he was really the first person that really did this to us. And he did not have any intentions on paying us. And I got on this, and before I funded this particular person, I got on the phone with him few times. I just don't send money out to anybody. In my business, cash money, is inventory for me. So if you own a business and it's a 24-hour let's say it's a 7-Eleven, inventory to you is soda, sandwiches, cold cuts, stuff like that. My business, money is inventory. When I put money out, I get back money in return plus extra money. So in layman terms. So I gave this particular merchant money, and from day one, he had intentions on doing the wrong thing. I did not know that. When I was on the phone with him, I made sure I got the point across that I am a new business. I'm only open roughly a year, and this is a lot of money for me to fund. I don't usually fund deals. I usually broker them out to other funders, and I pretty much was open with him. And I made sure he knew that I was another small business, and if he stopped paying me, it would crush me, and I could go out of business. I'm a father of 2. I did whatever I did to make him know that I was human, and please don't screw me. He ran with it, and he was like, "No, I would never do that. No, you have nothing to worry about." We looked at 12 months of his statements. There's no reason why this guy should go out of business the day I give him money. Business is great for him. He was doing well. And he was doing well when he stopped paying me. He had bad intentions at first. So we gave him money, like I said, 2 days later, 2 business days later, he stopped paying. He goes, all I need is 10 days. I said, okay, we'll give you 10 days. So I'm panicking. I didn't have a choice. So we gave him 10 days. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the folder and I'm going to show you the spreadsheet and I'm going to show you a few of the transactions of this guy. And I want your opinion, what you would do. Because we all have, listen, we all could be entrepreneurs and we could have the spirit of an entrepreneur, but we all probably make different decisions, whatever they may be. Some of them are better than others, but for me, it's trial and error. So now, and hopefully next time I'll know better before I learned a lot from this particular deal. So let me show you the deal. I'm going to show you the spreadsheet. Also, the contract they signed with me. If they default, not only I sue them, they have to pay my lawyer fees, the whole 9 yards. But I don't want to sue them. I don't want to rush to sue them because it costs money to go after them. And not only the attorneys that are in this industry, not only do they charge you, they also get a piece of whatever. It's probably they also get a piece of whatever they bring in. So they're going to end up getting 50% or 40% of whatever they end up getting back to me. So I'm lucky if I break even. My only concern was not so much losing money myself. My main concern was losing my investors' money. Because first of all, my investors were my friends and family. So that's one reason I don't want to lose the money. And if I lose the money, they're not going to want to invest again. So I actually kept paying my investors because I was so afraid of losing their money. So now I'm taking $187.50 out of my pocket, which actually I don't pay them the whole $187, so it was less than that. But let's say I'm taking $150 out of my pocket every day to pay the investors, so they don't know that we're getting screwed, and they're still happy, and I don't have to worry about losing them. Because I figured it was my fault. I shouldn't have gave this guy money, but reality of it, it wasn't my fault. The guy was doing the wrong thing. So let me zoom in on the deal. So I'm not going to show his name or anything, but I learned a lot from this deal. So not only do you have to watch out for bad merchants, but the salespeople too. The salespeople, their main concern is to make a sale. So they're going to throw shit against the wall to see what sticks. So they'll give me things. They'll say, this guy's a great guy. And I'm like, oh yeah, is he really? Not knowing any better that he's a salesperson. He wants to make the sale. He don't care about anything else but making the sale. So you got to be careful in everything in this industry that I'm in. So this particular merchant, if you can see right here, this is the contract. Before he signs the contract, he sends me an application, a one-page application. Tells me what he's using the money for. I run his credit, who he's dealing with now. So this particular merchant already had deals out. He's paying them consistently. Checked his credit. Wasn't terrible. I should have checked it, but I learned a lot about credit as well. So I bought $15,000 worth of goods for $10,000 from this particular person, and $187.50 a day is what this particular person was going to make. So now, give me 1 second. So this is the spreadsheet. These were his daily payments. On the 13th, he made a payment of $187.50. On the 14th, he made a payment of $187.50. So I'm pumped. I'm like, oh, this is great. On the 15th, no payment. 16th, no payment. 17th, we call him up. What's going on? He's like, I need to pause it for 10 days. I said, I just gave you money 2 days ago and you're pausing the payments? I'm like, what's that about? So I said, no problem. I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. I was panicky. So I said, no problem. I paused the payments. When I turned them back on 2 weeks later in January, the first one was returned. And then if you see, like 5 of them went through. Then, boom, they start returning again. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. So in January, he ended up making 9 payments. So in January, there's 20 business days usually in a month. He should have made around 20 payments. So as you can see, February, I got some payments out of him. Which was good. February made 18 payments. March came along, and guess what? I started returning payments again, nonstop. So he was a total disaster. And then May, no payments. June, no payment. 1 payment in June. And that 1 payment in June, I went into his account and pulled it. Because I'm like, this is ridiculous. This guy's not paying us. So he defaulted on the deal, which had nothing to do with COVID. He defaulted. He had every intention on screwing us from the beginning. When I called him, we knew right away he was looking to screw us. But I didn't want to call an attorney right away because I didn't want to spend the money for an attorney. And because it's costly. So I waited it out, which might have been a mistake. I have no idea. So we're going to fast forward all the way to 21 now. 21, my partner in New York, a friend of mine in New York, a colleague, started calling him up. He got 200 through Venmo, another 200. So we're getting 200 on February 2nd from Venmo. March 5th, a month later, he gave us 200. So if I'm paying 187 a day, he should have been done in April of 2020, because we did December 19, an 80-day deal. It comes out to, I'll show you, an 80-day business deal. End up being, hold on, I'm not going to show you. An 80-day business deal comes out to like 118 calendar days. So 80 business days is 118 calendar days. So March, we end up getting $200 from him. So this guy, if we didn't constantly go after him, if we would have forgot about him and went back to work, he would have never paid this. So if you see, March 5th, he made a payment. May 7th, he made a payment, and then out of the blue, I said, you know something? Screw this, man. I went into his account and I pulled $1,000 out because he signed the contract that I could. He defaulted on the loan first. Excuse me, it's not a loan. He defaulted on the deal, and he signed 13 pages saying that if he defaults, there's so many fees that I could charge him. He has to pay my attorney fees, so on and so forth. But again, I didn't want to pay for an attorney, so I pulled a payment, $915, $1,000. He didn't say a word. On the following week, the 24th, I pulled another payment. Then he said to my colleague in New York, he goes, you know, my colleague called him, can I take $200? So when my colleague was asking him down here, he was saying, no, I don't have the money, or he would send 200 here, 200 there. So I said, okay, even my colleague, my partner, he said, okay, my partner said, just send me your bank statements, because if they send over their bank statements and they're not lying, they are slow and they're not making money, we're fine with that. Well, okay, I'll pause the payments until you start getting busy again. Or I'll make the payment $5 a day instead of $200 a day. You know, it goes based on how much he does. So if he's very slow, we charge him less. If he gets extremely busy, we take a percentage of what he does. So we end up with a little more. However, he wouldn't send us his bank statements. You know why? Because I could tell you why. Because he was making money, and he was doing just like he was doing for the year before. And he didn't want to pay us in 80 days. He wanted to try to stretch it out as long as he could, or to see if he can get away with it. Well, he got away with it for like 2.5 years. Finally, I started pulling 1,000 here, 1,000 there every week. Then he knew right away. He saw the 1,000 go out, and he told my partner, he goes, listen, your boss is taking $1,000 a week. So he goes, I'm fine with that. So he was okay with me. He didn't say I was fine with that. I just kept doing it. And then at the end, which was last week, he said he emailed us and said, okay, you can tell Anthony you can take the balance. So I'm like, all right, I'll take the balance. His balance was $525. His default fee could be as much as $7,000. So his one default fee was $2,500. So what I did was I took the $525 that he owed, and I took $2,000 instead of $2,500 for a default fee, because I had to wait 2 years to get paid on this money. So that money over the course of 2 years could have made us a hell of a lot more money if he would have paid on time. But he did the wrong thing, and all he had to do was send over his bank statements to show us that he wasn't making money, and then we would have paused the payments or lowered it. However, 2 days after we gave him the money is when he stopped paying us. So you know he was just full of it. And if you look at this side, those are all the return payments. And that's only a few of them. So we're going to go back on this side, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to pan up a little bit. So it took him 704 days. It should have been an 80-day deal. Started on 12/13. That's as far. Okay, so 12/13, we gave him the money. He finished. It should have been done April 27, 2020. 80 days, like I said. However, it took 704 days, I think it was. And he ended up, and those are business days, by the way. And it might have been a little less than that. I got it written down here, actually. Yes, I'm mistaken. It didn't take 704 days. It took 671 days. There it is. Total days, 671 days from 80. From an 80-day deal. So he got over on us, and if we didn't pull that money, we would have never got it. We would have to sue him, and that would have been a nightmare to sue him, because I don't want to pay for attorneys. So I did it myself, and we waited a long time. And not to mention, I paid the investors. So now I'm out the money, and it's costing me a fortune. So what I did was, at the end, I also pulled, the lawyer would have did it. He would have paid a lot more with the attorney. So I pulled the default fee of $2,000. So he called the other day and said, you took too much. You were supposed to take 525. I said, okay, let me look at it and I'll get back to you. So I'm gonna call him back today. I'm gonna do it on video so you can see. But I'm curious, would you charge him the default fee of 2,500, or would you just take the 525? You got your 15 grand that he owes, and you wash your hands, and that's it. You don't give him money. You part as friends, and the day's over. And you just took you 2.5 years to get your money back. 671 days it took you to get your money back. So I know I'm talking fast, but I would really like to know what your decision would be. I know we're all going to have different decisions because our makeup is all different. But think about what I just said. I'm sure I left some things out. But think about the time. April 2020 it should have been done because it started December 19. And it finished November. Right now, the last money I just collected has not even cleared yet. So, but it finished November 2021, and it had nothing to do with COVID. He wouldn't send over bank statements so we can see if he's slow. But he stopped paying 2 days, his third day after our first payment is when he stopped paying, and so I won't lean your decision one way or the other. I'm very curious. You know, being an entrepreneur or a small business owner, you have to have thick skin, because it's rough out there. It's tough. Some of you might say, you know, something, oh, he ended up paying, so he shouldn't pay any default fee. And some of you might just say, you know, something, he deserves to pay a default fee. Matter of fact, he called me after he seen me take the 2,500, and which I haven't called him back yet, but he left a message. I would love to play you the message, and maybe I will. But his message said, Anthony, you took too much money. You know, please, I want to do good, clean business with you. So please just take the 525 and nothing else, because that's what I owe you, $525. So he's perfectly aware of what he owed. He knows the game. He knows what's going on, and in my opinion, but I don't want to give you any information to make you lean towards my decision. I know what I'm going to do. Either I'm going to give him back the $2,000 for the default fee, which is actually $2,500, or I'm going to just tell him he's lucky I don't sue him. And well, either way, I want to know what you guys would do. And for those of you that bought SHIBA and you're up 600% or 300%, right now it's great. I'm getting a lot of messages that, thank you, Anthony, I'm up 300%. Thank you, Anthony, I'm up $600. Whatever it may be, that's great. I'm happy that we did that. However, I'm experienced enough to know that tomorrow that profit could be gone. So I actually sold 40 million shares. Because I wanted to, and of course I wish I didn't, because it went higher after I did that, but it could have went lower. So I sold 40 million shares and I ended up taking out $300. I put $1,000 into it, and I ended up taking out $300 extra. So I'm only into it for like $700 right now, because I lowered my cost average by selling some. I'm a conservative investor. Someone else might not want to do that, and God bless you. So if you're up a lot and you're concerned, take some money off the table and let the rest ride. Or let it ride. You may never know. You might just hit a grand slam. With that being said, I have two other inexpensive cryptocurrencies that I bought. CHZ at like 30 cents and DGB at like 40 cents. Both of those, I have no idea what they do. I just know that, I don't even know why I bought them. I bought them because I'm looking at all these things going from a penny to $30. I'm like, even if I'm wrong, you put a few $100s in there. If you're right, you never know. You can get lucky. So, guys, if you're new and you haven't bought cryptocurrency, or if you don't have a Voyager account, go into my links, click the Voyager link. You deposit $100. They'll give you $25. You can use that $25 to go purchase one of these penny coins, cryptocurrencies. I think win, lose, or draw, cryptocurrency is going to, this type of currency is going to be with us for the rest of our lives. So it's what currency is going to hit it big. We have no idea. I have no idea. That's why I'm dabbling a little bit in all of them. Hopefully I get a little more educated and buy the right ones. But I think this currency is with us. So it's not going anywhere. And I'm not going anywhere. And I want to try to hit it big like all these other guys. So I'm dabbling in it. So again, CHZ like zebra. I don't even know what they do. And D, Dominic George Boy, DGB. I don't know what that does. The reason why I own both of those, Coinbase actually gave you some, I think one of those companies gave you a few shares for free, a couple of dollars for free, literally $2, $7, something like that, if you filled out a form. And I did it, and I had it in my account, and I added like $500 to it. and I think I'm up already like 40%, believe it or not. But you never know. I just might get lucky. Like SHIBA, I consider SHIBA lucky too. And with that, guys, please save your money, make money, and if you have any good inside scoop or anything, let us know. You know, mention it on this channel, and I'll definitely bring it to the masses. So with that being said, guys, have a great week. Well, the weekend's almost over now. Have a great week and enjoy your day. Bye. Hey guys, for a little bonus footage, what we're going to do guys, look around. If you see something that doesn't belong, let me know. You might have a chance to win.